This beginning. Hello, hello, hello. This is another episode of the Mental Threads Podcast, 119. I am here with Jena Poston, if I'm pronouncing that last part right.
No, you're good. How's everyone doing?
Yes, how is everyone doing exactly? Miss Jena is from Winston-Salem. She is now residing here in Charlotte. And you've been in Charlotte for the past, 5 years, I think?
Yeah, I moved to Charlotte in 2017.
Okay, and what about Charlotte made you want to move out here?
So when I graduated high school, my parents moved to Charlotte whenever I attended ECU. So my freshman year, I was already doing the commute from coming to Charlotte, coming back to Greenville. So then when I really was always coming home, I really liked the Charlotte vibe. And the business school was really good at UNC Charlotte. So when I applied my freshman spring semester, I got in, got approved. And then that's when I transferred my sophomore year. So that's where I've been at.
Okay, cool. So you transferred from ECU to UNCC, basically?
I sure did.
Okay, cool. When I think about ECU, I'm thinking about it's more like medically based and stuff of that nature. Is it cool? Like their medical field is kind of heavy out there at ECU?
Yeah, they really are known for their nursing program. Because originally that's where my sister went to school, and she was doing the nursing program. So yeah, they're really major there.
And what's UNCC pretty much known for? Is it just pretty balanced throughout all the subjects, or is it's just a business school is what they do?
It's pretty balanced, but I would really say their hype is like the engineering program there.
Okay, so it's engineering for them. All right, that's nice. That's really, really cool. Like, I'm pretty familiar with UNCC. I know, my dad used to take me out there, my brother, to the library over there to just kind of chill and just whatever. I don't know why we're always there, but we're just there and stuff like that. So I'm pretty familiar being out there and whatnot. Not too familiar with the ECU, and you've only been there for what? It was just how many semesters?
It was 2 semesters, so a year. My whole freshman year, I was there.
Okay, and how do you describe the experience or just the vibe over there at ECU? Was it a party school? I hear it was a party school, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, it definitely was. And that's why, I don't want to really bash it too much, but I didn't really take the school too serious to where I really wanted to get my degree from there. So my freshman year, I had my fun. It was a good experience. I definitely enjoyed it. But when I decided to transfer, it was mainly because I didn't like the fact that Greenville without ECU is nothing, but Charlotte is Charlotte without UNC Charlotte. So there's more things to do. There's more things to grow here. And I just didn't see myself being able to develop there for the next 3 more years. So I just made the move, made the leap.
Oh yeah, no, I once knew a guy who used to go to ECU. He graduated from there years ago. I remember. I was working with him at Live Nation. We were working at concerts and everything. And he told really there was nothing to do at ECU but party or just smoke weed or whatever. And then that's just what it is.
It definitely was a party school. I had a good time. And that's where when I first came to UNC Charlotte, it kind of was a transition for me because on Monday night at ECU, I felt like everyone was going out, that was an option. But when I came to UNC Charlotte, it was more people who actually was there to go to school. There was a lot of people at ECU. I had to have 2 separate friend groups because the party people did not know where the library was at. You know what I'm saying? So it's you had to make sure that you filtered your mind at ECU so you won't be too distracted. Because my grades, thank God, were all still good, but that's why I was able to transfer. But there was a lot of people who went to ECU and went left.
Really, and just never really graduated or did anything.
Flunked out because you just get so distracted in that environment, which is easy to do, but you gotta remember what you're in school for.
Wow, that's crazy because I go to an HBCU and everything, which is so it's I went to North Carolina Central University. That's where I really transferred. I know I told you about how I literally went to CPCC for a while and then I was struggling there. So then I had to separate myself from people that was there to go to Rowan and Cabarrus Community College. I was in Concord and everything. Really had to separate myself. And then from then on, I transferred directly to North Carolina Central University. I'm yeah, we had our little party vibes here and there. But it's once you went to maybe a couple of them, it was you already feel you already went to all of them anyway. And so then you were just kind of focused on school from that point on and everything of that nature. Will you say you were kind of on the same timing, individually, you just went to a couple parties, okay, that was it. It's time for me to focus on school. Was that your vibe?
Honestly, I had so many different experiences just based on how I was mentally. I feel at ECU was when I really kind of had more of my spiritual awakening of my self-reflection. So my mental was so just kind of not really knowing what type of person I wanted to be at ECU, especially because I felt growing up I played a sport. So I didn't realize how much of my sport became my personality. So when that was removed, then I had almost like so much more time than I was used to. Like ECU for me was more of like trying to find myself, but I knew it wasn't supposed to be there. So when I came to UNC Charlotte, it was almost like, I don't know, the activities that I did was a lot more on a darker moment. Like that's when I started smoking more, I feel like, drinking more, and became more of like an alcoholic. And it's actually surprising that I say that, because, you know, I did attend at ECU, but I really like became worse when I went to UNC Charlotte, just because my thoughts were more deeper, and I was just more just like mentally stressed out. Like college is stressful. Like I don't know about you, but it really is like an intense experience. If like, especially me, I was a first generation. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was a lot more for me to like kind of adapt. So yeah, it's definitely been intense, but I definitely enjoyed the city of Charlotte way more than any opportunity that Greenville could have given me, for sure.
Okay, well, that's cool that you look at your time here at Charlotte a little bit more positively and stuff of that nature. I know, like, you're speaking about how, like, at ECU, it's just like you just trying to basically find yourself and trying to figure yourself out, and then you knew that you didn't want to, like, stick there and everything. So it's like, describe, like, just how things kind of got like more positive for you when you went to NCCU, if you could go deeper in that, because you were there for like 3 years now. So it's like it must have been like a pretty good or positive experience for you, right?
Yeah, I would say honestly, when things became more positive is when after the pandemic, because I feel like when the pandemic happened, everyone had their own like self-reflection with the time that you were given, because I was a server. So, you know, that was the first jobs that were taken out. So, like, once I realized what I really wanted to do, because everything was, like, at a standstill as far as, like, being forced to be that way, I was able to really, like, figure out what I wanted to be. And I remember that summer, I, like, wrote in my journal, I was like, I think, like, I want my own empire. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but, like, working for myself has to be the goal, because you can't work for somebody else and think you can like own your own anything. So that was when I was thinking to myself, okay, well, how could I start my own business? How could I really become an entrepreneur in that way? And it was really like a year later, like 2021, that summer is when I launched everything that I've been doing. And it's really been the best decision that I've made as far as forcing me in positive space and kind of building a community that I have now, and having the ability to give resources and educate people on the things that I know. So that's why I really like Charlotte, because there's more people like me than I ever expected, because of the people who I have surrounded myself in such like a short period of time of only starting my business for a year. So it's like, I'm just very grateful, and I just know like the decision that I made, it was definitely because coming here and like coming out of my comfort zone at the right time, and understanding when I was laying low, like that was the best time, and kind of like trusting the process, for sure.
That's crazy. It's crazy how college can do that for you. Like, you know, it can be kind of intense that moment. You know, it's just, I feel like I went through like the biggest transition of my life, you know, because like in high school, like I really wasn't much of like a top performer type student. I just kind of wanted to be a class clown. And people knew me for like wanting to be like a rapper and everything for a little bit, but then it was also pretty tough because I had issues with other my peers and subordinates also throughout my high school tenure and everything. And then trying to transition in the same weird groups of high school into a community college, because like once you don't go straight to university, y'all go to the same community college, so you see them around a lot. You're around those same circles again, and then it's just like, you know, you begin to struggle a whole lot more. Although I started doing good, like my grades started getting a little better because I had more time on my hands, like, you know, compared to like high school where it was just like, oh, you got to get this done, blah blah blah, this way. It's like CBC is like, oh, here's the assignment, just get it done before this time. Well, okay, I can calculate the time between that. And it was just stuff like that, so it was easier to focus on things like that. But at the same time, I was also struggling another semester, and I feel like a lot of that was attributed to like the circle of people I kept around me.
So important.
Unsupportive, just, you know, just talking, I'll put all types of dirt on your name. You can't even focus on yourself because you're so focused on, like, you know, what all sorts of people are saying. So I had to really cut myself off from that group and everything and move forward. And this has brought me a lot of positivity in my life. You know, I got a lot farther than I ever thought I would. I never thought I'd graduate like cum laude or nothing. And then, oh, thank you very much. And then like just finding myself in the School of Business at North Carolina Central University, building myself up, building a reputation for myself. And, it's just like, I feel like an HBCU environment kind of provided that. I don't know, like, the whole PWI environments and everything. It just,
right. Everything's so different, though.
Everything's so different. But you usually realize what works for you as you grow older. And I feel like that's the beautiful thing about college, is that you really figure yourself out. Once you focus on yourself, so it's like that's just how that's just how I see it. But in transition, I know it's like you spoke about how UNCC kind of influenced you to kind of go into business for yourself in a sense. Can you describe the steps it really took to make it to that point?
The steps, honestly, I would say the research and actually being able to, because obviously when I studied marketing and did all the business courses, being able to apply it in real life was something that I had to learn based on trial and error. But I would say the first step that I had to do was really sit down and think to myself, what can I do consistently on a basis where how could I really show value to people to make them want to actually spend money with me and actually see me as like helpful and as a resource. So generating that thought was really kind of like, it took a lot of brainstorming, a lot of researching to understand what that could really look like for me in the life of Jena. So the life that I really have created thus far has been literally kind of just going through the experience, knowing that this is the target that I'm going for, and then each person that I'm actually helping. That's why I now say consulting, because I've done so many different roles that I really am not just marketing. Like I make logos, websites, so I really influence as far as the branding. So kind of helping people just create just a brand in general is what I really try to push with like, my name, Generation Marketing, is my brand. And obviously my name's in my brand. So a lot of people always ask me questions like, how did you get to this point? Like, how did you become so creative to create a brand that you really could keep pushing consistently? And that's a goal that I want everyone to have, because entrepreneurship, it takes consistency. You can have the best brand in the world, but if you're not reminding people of it, it's going to get forgotten, because there's so many people competing with you at the same time. And that's really just takes, just keep pushing. That's why I tell people all the time, just keep pushing and understanding that it's your journey, it's your process. Yes, you got to go at a certain pace, but your pace is meant for you at that moment. So that's really the advice I have as far as that.
Oh yeah, no, I feel that, because like being like because I'm a business student myself, man. I feel like that really kind of influenced a lot of my daily habits, and I feel like your habits really do make you not just like as a business person, but also as an individual too, and everything. Like you got to be really disciplined in like just like how you carry yourself and everything, how you articulate yourself, and just work about it and do whatever you can to really work about whatever, I don't want to say your flaws are, but whatever your weaknesses are, for instance. Like I feel like I'm very heavy creative. I feel like creatively, like just how you mentioned, like you're pretty good at designing logos. I'm pretty cool at designing logos myself. But in my case, I like to design album covers and stuff of that nature. Just on the side and everything. I realize that maybe I'd rather just do it like for my friends now and everything, instead of trying to make profit out of it, because some people might have different software to create more, explosive type of designing and stuff of that nature. So I'd rather just do it for my friends, so that they could be like, oh, like who did this for you? Oh, it's like, oh, this guy right here, he did it for me like free and everything, and just kind of do it. And I know a lot of the wise thing will be like, if you do something, well, don't do it for free. But I feel like at the same time, you just have to start off like trying to build that discipline for yourself. And now I'm in a position where it's like, okay, now I can actually pay for the software and everything. I'm transitioning to that end, so maybe I could make it profitable over time. But it's just like, it's just really being a businessman is really just kind of configuring out a service or a product, and also making it out where it's like, okay, it stands out, like where it's like, okay, yeah, rolling with this person is probably the best to go, rather than like going to all the other people, like it's just like some people like to mess with people that are local, but some people will rather invest in the companies that aren't like broken down a little like systematic, what I'm saying, like bought in by like bigger corporations. Some people just like messing with the service, and there's a lot of people I know that go into hair care and do. I hope that stuff is not in the background. You gotta let it pass.
Love the background noise.
For all who don't know, we are outside, very much outside at the park. Anyway, so as I was saying, it's just like, yeah, just trying to really stand out as a brand is very, very important. So it's like things like that always seem to capture my attention, even as I got older. It's like, you know, how corporations move, like what corporations were doing that to fight their competitors. Like I've been watching videos about, like, you know, for instance, like Pepsi versus Coca-Cola, documentaries about that. Like what type of campaigns were they pushing, from the Pepsi, a whole like a new type of soda to like going back to classic again. It's just like all those things is like breaking down human psychology to like know like who wants what and why they want it and why they identify with a product. It's just there's something fundamental about it, but also personal about it that I find intriguing and everything. Was there anything in the business school that you just kind of, or anything in the business school that they just kind of like that kind of stood out to you in terms of just like, you know, like that was intriguing, or like I could see like why that could be useful? Anything that you might have learned at all throughout the business school at UNCC?
I would say a project that really stuck with me was when I did a paper about creating an omni-channel, and it was specifically on Chick-fil-A with how they have created such a mass marketing where they had an app, a website. Everybody knew about Chick-fil-A, so that the fact that we studied that brand specifically was something that was interesting, because people don't realize, like, if you see one brand doing something, the competitive nature in a way where it's like you can replicate that and it could work for you, but you have to be able to take the same time that they're doing, because that is, again, what I keep saying, the consistency. That's why Chick-fil-A is the most well-known brand, is because they consistently created great service in the food industry. So it's just like things like that. And another project that I was doing, it was like running campaigns. That was probably the first thing that I was so grateful for that I did in that class. So I think I was like top 10 in my class as far as like the engagement and the things like that. And that's when I realized like I could really do this for real. And when I started doing it for real for brands and you see results, and like now I'm like, okay, I'm grateful that I did study marketing and I actually am using it in real life. And it's something that I can actually use forever. Because at first, when I was on the business track, I didn't know what concentration that I wanted to do and wanted to be in. So when I chose social media, I already knew social media was going to blow up way more than when I made that decision. That was before TikTok was even developed. Okay. So like, social media is just so important, and the power of marketing is more influential than anyone thinks based on how real life is actually happening. Without marketing, we wouldn't even be living the way we are right now. So it's really deep. Like, it's deep.
Yeah, it's very deep, and it's like it's always something new. Because I swear, like TikTok wasn't even a thing like 5 years ago.
Exactly.
And now it's like the main thing in terms of like hearing new trends, bringing back music throwbacks and everything, introducing generation to new music, and even trying to get other artists on too, and stuff of that nature. I find it just so intriguing how things just switch up so quick, and how like even Instagram would be the main person trying to take a piece out of everything for Instagram. Before Instagram, it was Facebook, and then Instagram started taking from Facebook, and then started taking from Snapchat. Remember when Snapchat was popping, and then it's like then Instagram started doing the Insta Stories thing, and then like it kind of went down.
Snapchat definitely fell off.
Yeah, they tried to bring avatars into it, and it's like, but no one really cares about it, unless you're like playing Xbox or PlayStation.
If you're still using Snapchat, I judge you a little bit, just a little bit.
I still use it, but not like use it. It's like, I swear, it's just something to just look through, like, oh yeah, that's what they're doing. Like, okay, like some people like drop a little thing, but it's like it's like MySpace or like Craigslist now. Like it's weird how Snapchat turned from being like the most poppin' like Craigslist. But that's the beauty about like social media and everything. Like, you know, it really helps like with the market. No one has to pretty much pay to put their poster up no more on a billboard. Like, yeah, that's kind of tacky now, or kind of hokey. Like, now it's just like you got to put ads on Instagram because that's the only way it'll be all up in people's faces. Like, that's the new newspaper now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which is, like, crazy, like, how, like, you know, how we took it this far and everything. It's only going to get, like, more intrusive, more personal. That's where you'll look up, like, your favorite clothes or something. Like, oh, I want to get, like, maybe some overalls. I want to get, like, this hoodie. Next thing you know, Google ads to show up something.
Yep.
Like in Instagram, and it's just like, oh wow, dang, my federal agent is really on top of me now.
Yeah, they work overtime.
Yeah, like seriously, like, you know, I'm a music artist, so it's like I get ads all the time from like, you know, just beats, free beats, and I have so many free beats now, or like beat packages, like I don't even know where to put them now. Right. At least I'm secure in the beats department, but it's just like, you know, it really says a lot, like how like it's really starting to not only like change the lives of others in a provocative sense, technology wise, but really helping them out personally. Like, wow, I really needed that ad, or wow, I really needed this. and everything. So it's just like, how have you used social media for your marketing company to help build your marketing company and build brand awareness for that? Like, how has social media helped you in that?
I think the most important thing that I've been using with social media is being able to show kind of like my process and being vulnerable to the audience, because you kind of have to show your journey to be able to build connections. And that's why whenever I rebranded my company to where I'm now speaking about breaking generational curses, because that's something that has affected me personally. So when I speak about why I became an entrepreneur, why I became a business owner, my journey is the reason for that. So that's kind of like a segment that I like to use as a pillar for a certain amount of content for my page. And on top of that, being able to be seen as an influencer to educate people with my experiences, because when I make mistakes, I always try to show that so that someone can learn or someone can understand that this is just part of the process, so you don't beat yourself up when you're making mistakes in your journey. And that's why I always say, like, entrepreneurship really is about trial and error, but being able to recover. And the quicker you recover is how fast you'll be able to move to the next thing. So that's why with being able to keep your mental health at a point at that nature, because when you're going through personal issues, when you are going through bad things, like if you're having a bad day, it can hit a lot harder than when you're having a good day, obviously. So yeah, just being able to kind of use social media in a positive outlet and to not spread just the negative garbage that's consistently being relayed. I almost call it just propaganda at this point. But just using social media for, influencing others in the same mission that you're on is kind of what I've been using for my tactic.
Yeah, very positively and everything. I know there was one influencer I used to follow. I still follow her, and everything, and it really led me to like my online soul family, in a sense, my soul tribe. And we all kind of believe in like higher consciousness type thing and everything. And I need to really touch base with them pretty soon and whatnot. I haven't seen them in a while because it's like, now I gotta work and then I gotta step out and do this podcast situation. Gotta hit my goals, man. But it's just stuff like that, like things like that can really help you, like bring you closer together with people that really could help you along your journey too. So it's like, that's like the beauty of social media that like I really do like, because it's like there's really anybody can blow up. Anybody can really like make profit off of it if they're smart, or you can be lucky sometimes too. But it's like, it's really just your life can really change. Like even with the whole like Lil Nas X like doing the whole country rap song, which was like never heard of, and now it like went diamond, and now it's like he's literally doing other songs too. Like it's just like, that's just literally like a good example of just like, wow, like the social media can really change people's lives for real, to a certain extent, where it's like now it's like you can't like really ignore him if you like wanted to and everything. So it's just stuff of that nature. And so are there any examples of people that maybe influencers that maybe either impacted your life or just that just kind of really took advantage of the whole social media storm?
Honestly, the only people that I kind of like look at, I feel like I don't really fully respect, just because I feel like they've used their platform not for all positivity based on the behaviors that they've changed. But an example that I always will look at is Kim Kardashian. Everyone always knows that she really took over social media. She's really one of the first ones who used social media as her advantage. But the negative things that she's kind of portrayed is kind of like the fake body types, things like that. So it's really not body positivity. And the negative influence on that, you can see the results of how many people have a BBL now. And everyone knows the Kardashians kind of ran that. So I really see the negative side of marketing and how that is being influenced. So then when I kind of do that, I kind of flip it in the opposite of how I want to move and how I want to maneuver. And also another important thing is being able to have collaborations and being able to create a community in that way, so that you have people reposting your stuff. You're doing like what you're doing right now, interviewing other people. This is all ways to connect the dots for other people to kind of move together if we're all coming, up in the same wave. So I think it's really good what you're doing as far as that, and kind of connecting people and building your own community, because, I'm now 119 episodes. There's other people in this where it's like we all could listen to each other's stories and be like, wow, like we really were on one project, and this is actually something that could be influential. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe in consistency and really just hearing other people's opinions and self reflections on things and stuff. I don't know if it's a gift or it's like something maybe a strength that I have. I'm
Yeah.
good at just having conversations with all sorts of people. Like, we didn't even know each other. Now we're having like a whole 20-minute conversation just off the strength of just us like having certain viewpoints on social media and just going through the transition through college and like the business school in general.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, it's just simple things like that. Like, lots of people want to hear things about that in terms of just business and just college and just influence type stuff as a whole. It's really all about relating to others. Everybody, we all are individuals to a certain degree, but we all live through certain cycles where it's kind of similar. Like, there might be stuck in the same circle. I interview someone who might have deal with depression or drug use and everything, and how they overcome it. Or I could interview people who have been overcome poverty and managed to get their doctorate and stuff of that nature. I can interview people who notices certain patterns about the education system and all the flaws that come with that. So it's like I never like to keep my interviews to just like one type of people, like only artists and stuff of that nature. I like to hear from all types of backgrounds,
right,
and stuff of that nature. And it's just like after when I get to my 150 mark, then I can really push it out there. Maybe even get some merchandise sometime, stuff of that nature. Really get it organized.
Heck yeah.
Too. But I just want to I want to get a certain number of content out before I really like do all of that. So it's like, I really do appreciate you once again for hopping on. But if we were to go into detail, I know we're like talking about a whole lot about social media things, and which we'll hop back on that soon. But it's like I want to go into detail about like your life in Winston-Salem before coming to Charlotte. It's just like what was your background? I know you mentioned that you're like more of a sporty type, from what I understand. Like what type of sports did you play?
Yeah, I was a tom girl. Like, I came from a very small town. Like, I was kind of the outskirts of Winston. It was a town called Rural Hall. So it was really in the country, close knit. Everyone knew everyone. So that's kind of how like I kind of grew up kind of already in a community of like when you went to the elementary school, everyone went to the same middle school, and then everyone went to the same high school. It was just like you were stuck with the same people. But when I played soccer, that was the main sport that I played.
Okay.
It was literally my life. Like, I played all the time, like almost every day. And I really was on track to play in college, but it was just kind of a decision that I made where I was like, I wanted to see what my life was going to be like without it, since it was such a huge milestone for me that I was playing that sport, especially like the city that I was in. So, yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I assumed like maybe you play volleyball or something like that. Did you ever play volleyball? Or is it just wasn't your thing?
Nah. Only sports I've ever tried was basketball. I didn't like that. I did dance for a little bit, and soccer. Like, that was it. I could honestly play any sport. I had like a really natural ability, but nah, did not play volleyball. People also think I played softball. No.
Yeah, that was my second thing. Like, was softball your thing, or so soccer was like your main thing?
Yes, that was it.
Okay, and what soccer teams or soccer clubs are you like more of a fan of? Are you like Arsenal? Are you Barcelona? Or like I don't know a whole lot about soccer teams.
No, you're good. Honestly, the only thing I ever really follow is the women's USA team. I just support women's sports, but that's really the only team that I really will watch consistently when it comes to like the World Cup level.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you need to get into it. It's fun.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, it's like, 'cause I be seeing how the jerseys look like the Fly Emirates. I'm like, I don't want to wear it. And it's like, what do you know about Fly Emirates? It's like,
Right.
It's Fly and it's Emirates. That's all I know. It's like, and stuff. Like, that's one of the things I want to get into hockey because I like their jerseys too.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like, soccer's pretty, like, there was something like my father was into a whole lot, but I didn't really get into it and everything. I tried to get into it, but I had ADHD like crazy as a kid. So I was not paying attention. Like, so that soccer passed me, I was like, oh, snap. And it's just like, then I'm back in space again.
It kept me in shape, and it was a good outlet for me. Like, I didn't realize how bad, like, what type of anger issues I had until I stopped playing that sport. I didn't realize how much of like an outlet it was for me. But yeah, that's really what soccer got me through a lot. I feel like as a kid, like, I don't know what type of child I would have been without it, for real.
Yeah, sure. Everybody has their passions and everything. I think for me, it was like poetry and music for me, and like I guess soccer for you and everything. Did they have like certain positions in soccer that you played or whatever? Like, what position did you play?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Through everything, I've played almost every single one, but I finished off like with defense is mainly like was my main role that I played. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And how did that work with you? How did that work? I know you don't weren't like a goalkeeper type person for sure.
I mean, I've actually goalkeeped like a couple times, but defense was mainly just like my main position that I played, where you have to be fast to play defense because you have to catch the forwards that score. So I don't know, people always told me I played almost like a powerhouse, like how I moved and how I was able to just be like super aggressive. That's why, yeah.
I don't know, how can people be aggressive in soccer? Because I don't know, I used to play FIFA growing up, and like the moment I kicked somebody, I was getting a card. So it's just like, so were you the person that was racking up a whole lot of yellow cards and red cards?
No. The reason why I was good at it is because I knew exactly what to do to not get called. Because you have to make sure you have to do certain things, that you can't have your elbow up. Obviously, you can't like trip somebody. So like once you learn how you can move your body to where they can't, call anything, that's why I was so good at it.
Okay, that's cool that you know about it, like, so that much. Cause I never understood it as a kid. I was like, I was so young playing FIFA. I'm like, God, tripped him. So, and then you got a yellow card, and then you had to sit on the bench. I'm like, oh, what'd I do and everything? Like, oh, dang.
I'm not gonna lie though, men's, they pull the card more. Like I think women play a lot more harder and more aggressive, in my opinion. Every time I watch men play, it's just not the same for me.
It's not the same. You feel like maybe because you just don't relate, or is it just like it's just like what? Just not something you're into. Like, so you just can't relate to it.
It's just how they play. They kind of are more willing to like fall, trip, whine. I don't know. It's just a different style.
Oh, okay. Do you feel like women have to like play a little bit tougher and sort of like not be seen as like, oh, like they're weak or they're softer and that nature?
I mean, I don't think that's even that. I just think it's just how we play. It's just, yeah.
It's gotta play hard. I don't want to say hard in the paint because they end up hard in the chalk. Hard in the soccer shop, grass shop.
Yeah, we can say that. Okay. We can say that.
Playing hard in the chalk. Mm-hmm. You heard it here from Miss Jena Poston and everything. Sponsored by Nike.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, back on the whole social media thing and stuff of that nature. We could go on about soccer for like who knows.
Yeah, no, we don't have to. No.
Don't have to. But it's, I don't know. I'm like hearing about it. It's pretty intriguing. Actually, so get back. Who's your favorite player? Like I don't know.
Mia Hamm.
Mia Hamm?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you were saying me and nobody else. I thought that's what you said. I'm like, what, me? Oh, okay. I guess she's really on top of her ability. Okay, Mia Hamm. She plays for the American team, correct?
Yeah, she did. She was really well known. So in the soccer community, especially if you were a girl, like every girl like looked up to Mia Hamm. So.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look her up because it's like it's just like I don't know. Like they say Mia Hamm, I'm thinking about like Christmas ham or whatnot. That's the first that's popping in my head. My head's like Google Images, like Mia Hamm. Okay, I'll look her up. I'll see like what she's into and everything. She plays mostly defensively, like you.
She was a forward.
Oh, forward.
She was super fast.
Okay, forward is like that's a score.
Yep.
Okay.
They shoot.
Keep in mind, like this is a soccer player literally schooling a person that doesn't really keep up with soccer. So it's like
Understood.
Please forgive me, all the soccer fans out there. It's like, oh, forward. Like she moved in forward or something. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Mia Hamm. What's her slogan? It's not just do it, is it?
It's not.
What's her slogan?
I don't know her slogan. I don't know everything about her, but
you just know that she's Mia Hamm and she's a forward.
She's like that, yeah.
And she's like that. Okay, that's her slogan.
Yep.
Like that.
She's like that.
She goes forward like that. Of course. Anyway, okay, all right. Back to the whole talk about social media and everything. I don't understand that you're like a marketing brand marketing person. I don't know why I even said it like that.
You say marketing guru. I get called that.
Okay, marketing guru. Okay, that's nice. All right, that's a good tagline for someone that knows a lot about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how I don't know if I asked this question before, but it's like when it comes to like social media, how have you utilized social media to help your clients and stuff of that nature, and to what extent?
So I became brand ambassadors for my clients in different ways, where if they have a service and they need someone to create content for them, I always will use their services to promote whatever they're doing. That's why with the photo shoots that I've been doing recently, it's because the 2 photographers that I've been working with, I'm their brand ambassador to kind of show the work that they do based on modeling what they're doing for me. So actually kind of learning that tactic and use that as my own type of currency has been very successful for me to be able to have access to the things that I have access to that I'm so grateful for. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've learned, because when you make collaborative posts on Instagram, that's what I really, really help, because you're using both your followings to kind of push that one post. So yeah, I've been kind of using that strategy for my advantage and to kind of create a win-win relationship for a collaboration so that they have someone that's constantly pushing them and pushing their brand as well as I'm pushing mine as also.
Okay, cool. This seems to break it down a whole lot simplistically and whatnot. Can you like break it down for like give like an example of one of your clients? You ain't got to really like like tell who, but it's like if you can pretty much go into the discussion about like a client that you help in such a matter that really changed their brand or whatever for the positive.
Yes, I definitely am speaking for the things that I've heard as far as client testimonials. Cam with the Cam was my first kind of collaboration. I told him that I never got my graduate shots done since I graduated in 2020. So I told him, I was like, it's really important for me. I'm a first generation. I want my kids to be able to see something. He was like, oh, cool, let's do a photo shoot. I won't charge you for it. Like, let's get it. And so whenever we did our photo shoot together, well, actually, no, let me restate that. I did a business photo shoot with him first. And when he did that, I gained so many clients for him when I posted it. So he already saw so much value of like, wow, like I did work with you and instantly got more clients. And that's the goal anyways, when you're building your portfolio. Yes, you love what you do, but you got to keep find a way to make money off of what you love. So yeah, that situation was really a beautiful experience. And then he connected me with 3 other photographers. So then now I'm created kind of more of like a web of having access to multiple photographers, multiple videographers. So now my other clients can also, if they need something, can call me on that. So it's like, that's what I've realized really quickly, like connecting with more people and exchanging services will only benefit everyone else around me.
Oh yeah, no, I can understand that, sir. I mean, networking is very crucial in terms of like, cause like you could be able to like offer people to other folk that have a service and everything. Like for instance, I was working when I was making my mixtape, my first mixtape, Ego Trip. Go check that out, and whatnot. Well, this one guy by the name of Gage, he goes by Alex, made this, and whatnot. Pretty much working with him and just telling people about the prices he's giving me and stuff of that nature and the deals he's giving me. A lot of people are interested. Oh, can you hook me up with that producer that worked with you and stuff of that nature? Mm-hmm. And even by meeting him, it was only because like some guy I knew in middle school from 7th grade who I haven't even seen in years. Right. I saw him on social media. It's like, yeah, sure, I can hook you up with like somebody, and like here you go. Like networking is so crucial to like make or break you. Like even to meet a stage where I can actually drop a mixtape. I always wonder for years, how is that gonna work? How's that process gonna work? Will I be able to fund it and everything? And now like my main like focus on when it comes to me was like, how can I get back in the studio again? And try to find the funding to get back there again and everything, because it becomes an urge after a while. So it's like networking is very very important. Is there anybody that you ever networked with outside of photography that was just like very helpful towards you or towards another client?
Another example that I had, I would say, is the girl who does my waxes. We kind of have the same type of exchange where I promote her, and it's things like that where I'm like, all right, next step, I want to be able to find someone to do my nails and kind of give that same type of experience. So to be able to exchange services where I'm literally just promoting them freely and they don't even have to ask, and realizing how valuable that is, it's kind of been my exchange of like understanding how powerful like what I do for people and how they appreciate it. And then another collaboration that I've done is with my car club people. Ronnie, he's been doing it since he was 15, and I'm able to connect them where they can actually have car shows at the different locations that I have also. So it's just been fun to be able to do my job and then see someone else with me do what they love to do in the same space. That's why now when I'm getting into my event planning and kind of collabing with what I'm doing now, it's even growing even more, because now all my small business owners can be vendors at my events. So it's like all like an eat, win-win situation. And that's just how I naturally think.
That's a very abundant way of thinking, to be honest. Like, because it really just kind of works like dominoes. So one thing leads to another, and everything. You're doing this way better than I am. So like, I'm 24. I'm like, dang, like she's doing the things I'm dreaming of doing, and everything. So it's cool that you actually got your mindset set on that. Would you say it's like your habits or just your mindset that kind of like helps influence your success to a certain degree? So it's just a mixture of both.
I think my failures was due to the fact that who I am is because I didn't have that at the time. So I'm almost mirroring what benefited me when I was by myself doing things alone. So it's like I feel like that's kind of my benefit of when I fell on my feet based on the resources that I had was due to the fact that they weren't good resources. So I always try to not think greedy, always think about how I can make someone else beneficial to not just myself, but like even if you pay a service with me, we have a long lasting relationship regardless. So it's like I try to create a relationship and kind of a benefit to where, like I would keep saying, a win-win situation, because in some of my collaborations when I first started, I made a lot of mistakes due to that because I was pouring more into them, but they weren't pouring into me at all. So again, I just kind of model what I've always wanted and what I know people should be, so that when people meet me, they're almost shocked. Like, we've been going through bad business back to back. It's almost a relief when they meet me and they realize how giving that I am. But I also have to realize I had to set boundaries for myself, because in my way of trying to be on the almighty, like, I've been burned also. So it's like, keeps me going though, because obviously the good collaborations that I stated, another shout out is Cam Kodak, is another photographer that I work with. They've all made me realize why I'm doing what I'm doing, because the right people will get connected to you regardless. So
yes, heavy on that. The right people always get connected to you. Once you're really stuck on your purpose, the right people really do come through. And everything. Like, literally, like, it's so crazy, like how, like, you even said that, because I feel like even doing this podcast situation, it introduced me to a whole lot of other people for sure. Like, even you do the whole marketing thing. I've interviewed people that have multiple side hustles, who throw events. I interview people who, like, other artists and everything. So it's like, maybe down the line, like, maybe if they want to hook me up with an opportunity, or if I get down the line and I want to hook them up with an opportunity, like, the options there. So that's why I work so hard, because it's not just yourself you're working hard for. You can really help change other people's lives through, like, you know, you can really, your opportunities that you hit, you can also help give other people opportunities that can also change your life. And I want to be the person that, if I do have an opportunity, I wanted that I can give, like, shine to other people and everything. I definitely want to be on the side that's helping people shine more, instead of being the one that kind of dims out their light or tries to compete against them. And I feel like that could also help play in other people's success too, because you can't be too selfish in this world and think you can get by, because that will make you very stagnant and incapable of, like, moving forward and stuff. And you know, progress can't be stale, man, and you got to learn from everywhere.
And God don't like ugly.
Yes, God doesn't like ugly. I don't really know exactly what God would consider ugly and everything. It's just like ugly, like in behavior ugly, or like, you know, looks ugly. I don't know. I feel like beauty is very. I don't want to say subjective. Let's just say it's relative. There we go. Relative. That's that term.
Internal beauty is everlasting, though.
Yes, very much so. Internal beauty is everlasting. For, say, I don't know what they made a Disney movie about, like, what, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, sure, yeah. He was hairy, but he still got the girl. Okay,
exactly.
Then they broke the curse. Anyway. But anyway, going deeper into your interests and everything, outside of soccer, what other interests do you have? Are you like an anime person? Do you read a whole lot of books, or what's your thing?
Honestly, my interest is really like listening to music. I've actually made a song. I haven't dropped it or anything. It's actually something I've just been like playing around with. But my interest really is just like I try everything. Like, I'm just so into just trying new things and kind of figuring out new hobbies, meeting new people, going to networking events, and just like kind of being the sociable person that I'm literally just meant naturally to be. And I feel like you, for an example, being able to willingly do interviews and have conversations, it's a gift, it's a talent. So kind of using my talent for good usage is kind of like what I do for my free time. And people think I'm crazy because I'm always just thinking of new things to do. Like, I want to write books, things like that.
Yeah, that's good. Do all that. I be thinking the same thing too. Like, this whole podcast thing started on a vision board with like a cool logo. I know you've seen the logo. How do you feel about the logo?
Yeah, I love it.
She loves the logo, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's super dope. And honestly, I'm about to start my own podcast and do my own collaboration. So like, that's why doing interviews like this, I'm always willing to do, because I want to keep practicing talking, because people don't realize like talking to a phone is harder than what you would think. Like, having to like not stutter, you know, clear your mind of what you want to say. Like, it really does take practice. Yeah,
man. I imagine I have to do this like 100 over 100 times and meet all types of people and try to connect with their energy. And some people might not give you the same energy of like actually trying to converse with you. So sometimes you got to carry the whole interview. Sometimes that could be very frustrating. Like, dude, you took time out of your day to give like half-ass answers and everything.
Exactly.
But even then, I can't even get mad because at least they still showed up. At the same token, I'm just saying it's just it. So that's why I always try to hit that 30 to an hour mark to give everybody the same respect. And that's good that you want to go into like writing books and also doing a podcast yourself and everything. It's always good to challenge yourself while you're young and everything to see how far you can take something. I never thought I could take something like this past 100 episodes and everything, just to have like maybe once I hit 150 and then like maybe I could put it out there, maybe add some video and stuff of that nature. This thing really became a big part of my life outside of music too. So it's just like, I want to write books also and stuff. It's just something like while you're young, it's good to just do all sides of things. Maybe I want to get into acting too, like maybe somewhere down the line. Definitely want to consider it and everything. So
and honestly, it starts to become addicting. Like when you start to like really accomplish your goals, you're like, holy cow, like I didn't think I even would do that. So then when you get to the next milestone, it's like, what more else can you do?
Yeah, no, seriously, like challenge yourself with milestones and everything. That's gonna carry you like in life so heavy and everything. You got to have goals for yourself. If you really want to get someplace and everything, you really got to set a marker for yourself. Like, okay, I gotta reach this place before this time. My goal for this year was reach 150 episodes, and now I'm like after you, it'll be 31 episodes away, which is crazy. Which is like
a lot of content.
It would take like 2 interviews a day for 15 days, and then it's just like like then it's a wrap. Or but then sometimes people flake out. Some people don't want to. Some people might want to do it, and then scheduling happens. Like weird. Like maybe I'm not able to make the schedule, or I fall asleep. I literally almost took a nap in the car. Like I was just taking like a little power nap. And it's like, oh my gosh, what time it is? It's 4 o'clock. Okay, well, good. I didn't sleep past it.
Right.
Cause I feel like I beat myself up on it too. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I slept in the car. And it's just like, oh man. But then it was like, you're able to make for the interview process and everything, and we're able to get this stuff situated. So I appreciate you once again for hopping on. And after this, I want to be able to raise brand awareness. Is there any chance that your services could probably help me raise brand awareness too for like my podcast?
Absolutely. I love to tap in with anybody. I'm at this point, anyone who I can find that has the same type of mindset as me, the same type of goal, because the goal is honestly to push for generational wealth and create a brand so powerful that you can pass it down. So anyone that has that same mindset is really kind of who I connect with. So tapping in.
Yeah, no, seriously, like I really, really do. Because that's all I think about is like really how could I change things? How could I really shift everything in my family dynamic to really push to a more affluent stage or level or status for my family, because I imagine myself buying a big house, raising a family in that house and everything, and also building generational wealth from there. And it takes a lot of effort to build that discipline to really step out your circle to do something outside. Like some people are content creators, some people go into sports, some people do this, that, and the third. Some people do a mixture of things. I would like to be the person that does a mixture of things, because if it isn't one thing, it'll be another thing, and then it would just all kind of like reflect on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe Rogan does the whole commenting for UFC fights and everything, MMA fights, and then on top of that, he's also a comedian, and then he does the whole podcasting. But a lot of people know him more from the podcasting than he does.
Exactly.
So it just kind of bleeds into life. The more you discipline in one area, it kind of just bleeds in the other end to that area and stuff.
It's really all about wearing multiple hats and being able to juggle. That's why a lot of people respect me, because they're like, yeah, you really are an entrepreneur because you do all aspects of everything, where you could play certain roles for different people. So people just have to kind of find a balance and have time management, and that's how you're able to really juggle everything.
Yeah, time management that's one thing I really, really learned in college too, back on the whole college. Time management is so crucial, man. It's like one of them assignments they're due like at 12 or a certain day. All the time in between, and it's really just I would do assignments so early, like days in advance, so I won't even have to worry about it. So by the time it's due, like, oh my god, I did it. I already did that assignments already, and stuff of that nature. So it's like I really do think college really instilling that work ethic into me and everything to know like, wow, I can really do.
Going on in Charlotte. Here they go.
Oh yeah, that's an emergency card.
Yeah, another one.
Iredell County. I don't even know. It's Iredell County. I don't know what county. Iredell. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce it, and everything. But it's like, all right, back to the whole transition from like Winston-Salem to Charlotte and stuff of that nature. So it's just, so your transition from Winston, yeah, you saw it as like a little small town and everything, and like transitioning from Charlotte, which happens to be like the biggest metropolitan city in North Carolina and everything. But you stay in an apartment, right?
Yes, I stay over in Uptown now.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cool. And it's all because like the brand awareness marketing thing that you do that's really helping you live, or is that, do you like do any other jobs outside of that?
So in the beginning, when I first launched Generation Marketing, I was actually working a 9 to 5 because that was the first thing that I did when I first graduated. I applied every single corporate job that I could find to kind of get me started in the corporate world. So I worked for a company called TriNet. It was a remote job. I did that for a year, and then I made that decision kind of to just stop because that 9 to 5 was completely taking over, and I couldn't like focus on what I wanted to focus and pour my energy in Generation Marketing because it was getting to the point where I was booking meetings while I was working. So I was doing both things at the same time. Like honestly, when I was developing Generation Marketing, it was while I was working at TriNet. So I was really finessing my time. And I hate to say that because I feel like when they hear it, they're probably like, wow, she really wasn't working like that. But I was, but it was just like, you know, if I had time to go to a meeting, I definitely was going to go to the meeting. And then I would bring my laptop with me and kind of work at the same time. So I was literally kind of killing two birds at one stone. And that became overly exhausting to where I got burned out so fast and I could see my mental just really like depleting. So I just really made a decision to fully commit to my company. And it's been amazing since I've done that since May.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, trying to stay on top of that is so tough, man. I swear. Like, even like this podcast situation, like to find people at the same time, made at the same time, then try to space different interviews from the time you finish that interview to the going to meet at the next place. I know I got to go all the way out in Concord Mills area for my next interview around 6 and everything. And then it's just like, you know, trying to make time for that. But also, I'm a care associate. I work for Novant. Originally, I wanted to be a marketing coordinator. I applied for the marketing coordinator role, but they told me to just stick there until they can bump me up, and then I'm getting like phone calls from year one to see if maybe they can probably hook me up on the next cohort of business students and everything to see if they can hook us up with like corporate jobs. So like, I'm actually at a crossroads again because now it's like I gotta work a job from 10:45 to 7 a.m. find some time to sleep, and then also hop on Zoom for this whole class from 8 to 5. So that leaves me like 4 hours in between to actually like rest up and actually get ready for work and keeping that going. So I got to like November 15th for that to start, and I really just want to do both because it's like, you know, what if they don't bump me up to marketing coordinator like as soon as I think it was, and then I'm just stuck, you know, like I don't mind taking vitals and everything and doing all this other stuff, but you know, but at the same time it's like I'm a business student, like, you know, it's just I'm trying to get more in my lane of like marketing and stuff of that nature. So at least before I consider transitioning to Washington DC and stuff of that nature, because that's why I'm trying to go to grad school for Howard University. Is definitely going through there. But back on the whole transition and everything, you know, Charlotte as a city, would you say like this is a pretty good city to get invested in if you're a business student or just in general, like a business type person and stuff of that nature?
I would say so. I definitely feel like the opportunities are here. You just have to go get them. You can't think they're going to fall in your lap. But at least you have a space where if you really have that time to do it or you really want to do it, you will be successful based on who you can like connect yourself with. I will say though, there's a lot of bad business in Charlotte. You have to be careful with that, just because I feel like the Charlotte like city is kind of growing, and since they're kind of a lot of people from up north are pouring into Charlotte, we're now with all different types of people, not just Charlotte natives, things like that. So it's becoming more open in that way where we're no longer just like a local city. Like we're the most upcoming city. I think we're now like number 7 or something like that. So yeah, I think to be successful in Charlotte, you just have to really stay grounded and kind of protect yourself in certain ways, with which I was saying, create boundaries for yourself to make sure you maneuver in the best way possible.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to maneuver the best way possible. I know I interviewed someone who was like from Delaware, spent some time in Indiana, and now she works corporate for Bank of America and stuff of that nature. So it's just like, you know, because I'm a business student, but even like getting in the corporate like field and everything, it's such like a huge thing. Like, I didn't get no internship while I was in college and everything. I was just working here and there and stuff. That's one of my biggest regrets is not getting an internship because I would have like secured me a job on the way out. But it's like,
yeah, I did an unpaid internship, so that was its own experience. So just depends.
Did that help you professionally?
I will say yes, because I realized what I did, since I did it for free, my only motivation was to get up, was the fact that I loved what I did. So that's when I realized I was in the right niche. But unpaid internships are honestly just cruel and they should never exist. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I was so hurt when I didn't get an internship. I was offered, like, through Thurgood Marshall and everything to hop on for this whole interview process, a group interview for Universal Music Group. And I'm like, yes! And then it's just like I was into it and everything. I was doing what I needed to do. But I think it was how I dressed. I think it was how I was dressed that kind of threw people out because I wasn't in a suit, which is why I wear a suit. Like, well, I'm so happy to wear a suit now. Mm-hmm. But it's like because it was just so last minute, I was wearing a hat and everything. Like, basically, like, you know the same snow cap that, like, you ever watched the movie Home Alone, that that short Italian dude with the high pitch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, like I was wearing stuff like that, and it's just like with no like coat over like a collared shirt and everything, and no tie. So it's just like, oh man, I really hope they do take me based on my behavior, but they never got back to me. That hurt my feelings. I'm like, no, I wanted to work for them.
Right.
That was my passion, music and business.
Part of the process, you gotta take some L's.
Really gotta take some L's and everything.
Humbles you quick.
Yeah, no, seriously, definitely can't quit out here. But it's like, yeah, I know it's like since you've been living in Charlotte and everything, what has your experience with it been personally? I know we spoke about it for a little bit, but like on a social level, like connecting, like you're not really much of a nightlife person, are you?
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. I didn't get to the nightlife out here. I'm more interested in the nightlife in DC. So like,
yeah, I hit the nightlife when I was in school. Like whenever I turned 21, I definitely was going out a lot, like a lot. Because it was almost a point in my semester where I almost dropped out because I lost kind of the reason of why I wanted to go to school. But my kind of journey with that is like, it was like a stage. Everyone kind of goes through a bad stage in college when you stop going to class, where you really just don't care.
Yeah.
And
to that early as CPC.
Yeah, and I kind of hit that road my junior year semester. It was like my fall semester. And I remember I almost like was at that point, and I remember I went to class for the first time in like 2.5 weeks, and the professor was passing out Scantrons, so it was exam. So I literally in my head was like, I haven't even studied. How the heck am I going to pass this? Like, I don't even know what's even going on, and I literally got an 87 on that exam.
Oh, wonderful.
But I really felt like at that moment, God told me, like, this is your last chance to get it together. And I literally turned my whole semester around, made sure I was good. And then the next semester, that's when the pandemic happened. And then I was like, wow, well, great.
Yeah, man. How did the pandemic hit you for college life? I know for me, it was like, I mean, I was beginning the transition to be more recluse and introverted anyway. So I was kind of happy, like, okay, cool. At least I got a reason. But at the same token, it was just like, you would really expect your college life to be for all 4 years to just be popping. And that's why it's just kind of like motivated me to go to grad school. Cause I'm like, okay, maybe I can get my second chance in grad school.
Yeah.
Where I can I can get my education, but now I can be like popping for just 2 years and everything. What would you say it was like? Are they just you weren't messing with the whole pandemic era of college?
I feel like my last year was kind of like stolen from me, which I know is so dramatic, but it's like I didn't have the experience, like the senior experience, to be able to walk, things like that. And the semester, I think it was like spring semester when it happened. At first it was trying to say, oh, it's only going to last 2 weeks, be online. And then I realized so quickly how corporate college really is, because we didn't get much of a refund. I don't know about you. I sure didn't. I think they gave like a little parking pass refund for me, but I'm like, hold up, this is not the same experience.
Parking, don't sleep on that. Because it's like really like so many times I had to wake up and my car was just missing because I didn't park in the parking deck at a certain time. During like when they had football games, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my car? And I had to go like full Inspector Gadget on finding my own car, trying to figure out who stole my car. I lost my car for a couple of days. I didn't know where it was at. I had to really chop down trying to figure out where it was at. Like, I'm doing all this extra stuff, and I don't even know how I got it. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's just blocked out my mind now. It's just like that whole traumatic experience.
Right. No, yeah. Honestly, that's why, like, for me, like, my last year was rough, because it was like I had to be on campus, because I'm the type, I have to be in class. Like, I have to have that studying for me to stay focused. So like that transition online, It was not easy for me at all. But that's why when I finished, I literally feel like I poured everything. That's why when I started Generation Marketing, I almost felt like I birthed something, because it's like, this is everything that I've sacrificed, my time, everything is now, this is what I stood for. Generation Marketing, my knowledge, my skill set, boom. So like, yeah, the struggles of college is really why I started a business.
Yeah, she birthed it, conceived in everything.
No, seriously.
9 months. No,
No, for real. I feel like that. That's why I take it so personal about what I do, because this is literally me. Like, that's why I put my name in everything. Like, it's my knowledge, my resources, my connections that I've gained. So everyone knows when you talk to me or you reach out to Generation Marketing, it's everything.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like your energy and everything. I definitely would like to work with you in terms of trying to build my brand too. I got the podcast thing. I definitely want to build up my music career a little bit more, which I think I can do with another guy and everything. But just everything in general. Like, you can never have too much marketing.
And I did work at a recording studio, so I have a lot of background with music artists. So
really,
yeah.
like, you know about A&Rs and stuff. Hey, she knows about A&Rs and stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of an opportunity that I got my last semester when I was in school. I worked for a company. He made me like VP, third day meeting. It was a crazy situation, but I can't really fully speak on it. But the good experience of that was being able to work in a recording studio, work with different artists, see how music was actually being made, created. So it was just interesting to really like see a different experience that you only hear from like iTunes. Like, so seeing the actual creation, I really respect artists.
Okay, nice. Definitely hook me up. So I'm really trying to take this music thing to a whole nother level next year. Since I'm starting the transition, trying to start making a little bit more money. This year was hella tough for me. So it's like I'm probably taking all that negativity from this year and trying to turn into something positive for the next. That's really like my biggest focus right now.
Right.
So these podcasts really do like help me transition with that and stuff of that nature. But like, go into detail about, Charlotte, just your experiences in Charlotte. You ain't gotta go too fed with it, but I'm just saying, just in general, just how positive it was in between, like, transition between Winston to Charlotte and stuff of that nature. I've been making a whole lot of friends here. Is everybody generally friendly? I grew up here, so it's just like, I didn't really have the most positive experience, so I'm trying to get the hell out. But it's like, but anyway, but I do appreciate how like my city really is like an underdog city, and that we are still growing. I just want to go and grow up a little bit more out there, and I come back, I'm like, oh, like I'm stronger, I'm amazing, I'm in a suit, like I don't know, I want to come back as a much better version of myself. Definitely. And stuff of that nature. But it's like, leaving your hometown to start over in another city is like a huge transition. What do you say, like, how would you go into detail about like, your transition from your hometown here and how that's been a positive for you?
I feel like a positive for me is being able to find myself in an organic way, with the fact that I'm actually creating something in the city of Charlotte and actually engaging myself with helping people. So I think that's really been the most positive thing, is that I gained actually healthy, good relationships that we're building together, which I kind of kept saying. But that's really the most thing that I really wanted from Charlotte anyways. Reason why I left my hometown, reason why I transferred from ECU is because Charlotte I knew was a space that I could grow if I just had to be in the right soil. Okay. And that is what's so important about anybody. You have to be in the right soil. And if you're not enriched, keep pushing, keep moving. It's not for you. Don't force it.
Okay, nice. That's a good way to end this interview. Do you have anything else you want to let the audience know before we buzz off? I never say buzz off on this, but it's like, since we're in Charlotte's a buzz city, whatever. Buzzing off. I don't care. Anything you got to say before we go?
Honestly, the only thing I could really say is just kind of stay focused and stay true to yourself. And if you are developing your brand, remind yourself why you're doing it every single day. And that when you have the things that you're trying to accomplish, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But just like everyone else, you got to keep going. You got to have that influence behind you to where you will motivate someone else. Because if you're motivating and pouring at other people, it's going to naturally push you to be the person that you want to be. So yeah, Charlotte is up and coming. Check it out. I'm going to have a lot of events, networking events. So if you're trying to get connected, find resources, just ask. Literally, my DMs are always open.
It really is. Like, for example, she's literally right here. I don't know her from anywhere, and now we're here talking and conversing for like well over an hour. Okay, but that's it for the Mental Threads podcast, episode 119. We're sewn in, and now we're sewing out.
Thank you.